You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
We get right onto the situation, find where the student is, get the Rantoul Police Department involved.
It's the second time in 2 days a Central Illinois student brought a gun to school. A 16-year-old student was arrested at Rantoul Township High School this morning. Good evening, I'm McLeod Hageman. Now, a day before, a Springfield High School student was also taken into custody for the same thing. WCIA 3's Renee Cooper has been talking with school leaders, and Renee, their biggest concern is simply keeping everyone safe.
Of course, McLeod, and between the school districts, the responses to these incidents were quite different. Southeast High School in the capital city went into lockdown after a district officials tell us a gun fell from a student's bag yesterday. Now, Rantoul's administration says a lockdown could have escalated the situation there just this morning. I got to the bottom of that decision and took a look at additional safety measures on the table in both districts.
We had a report that was made to one of our administrators who then contacted me. And so we immediately contacted our school resource officer.
The report of a student who possibly had a gun sparked an early morning chain reaction at Rantoul Township High School, including a call for backup officers.
Once those other officers arrived, then we went in and removed the student from the location he was at.
Confirming a loaded handgun in a 16-year-old's coat pocket. But in his 25-year career, he couldn't recall another incident where a gun was found.
It was safer for us to get control of him rather than go on lockdown, alert him that maybe something's going on, and then have him react maybe in a way that could have been really bad.
A tough call, I imagine.
It is, and that's why we do a lot of training.
A decision ultimately made with police.
If the police department says no, you immediately need to go on lockdown, then that's what we're doing.
Rantoul Deputy Chief Justin Bow says it was unnecessary.
Under 10 minutes, it was addressed by the school resource officer.
Over in Springfield, students at Southeast High School were greeted by bag checks and handheld metal detectors before school. A district representative says making something like that permanent is an ongoing discussion among the school board. In Rantoul, no changes at the high school for Friday, but a committee was formed a couple of months back.
That discussion of metal detectors has come up in there, and we haven't made a final decision on that yet.
Updating security cameras and lighting outside of the building is also on the table.
Now, the superintendent didn't have a timeline yet for when that decision could be made. Over in Springfield, the school board is set to discuss security measures again next week, and a vote to bring in more permanent weapons detection systems in both of the city's high schools is slated for late March. McLeod, back to you.
All right, Renee, thanks so much. And students at both Champaign High Schools have been walking through metal detectors since January. They were also installed at Urbana High School last month. In Danville, high school students are now required to use clear backpacks, and they're also met with handheld metal detectors on random days.